Hey, while we're on the West, let's talk about the Fremantle Dockers, because they're a serious side. They had a serious win on the weekend. And, well, this is the way Justin Longmuir saw it.
And it's amazing against a team as good as Melbourne. If your offence is not right, it's hard to stop a team defensively. So those two aspects weren't helping us defend our front half in the second quarter. And, yes, third quarter we got deeper entries. We started connecting a little bit more and were able to squeeze up and play the game in our front half, probably like we were in the first quarter, but more importantly, we were able to score. And it's been a bit of an issue for us, like the last couple of weeks with 30 and 40 points. So at half-time, yeah, there was positivity around, but in the back of my mind I was thinking, geez, wouldn't mind hitting the scoreboard a bit more. But we got it to ground level, and I thought our small forwards got to work, and yeah, aerial players became a bit more dominant as well. So yeah, we talked about all week. There's your game plan, which is critical, and we weren't executing that to our fullest the last couple of weeks. But then there's the behaviours behind the scenes that really do drive your trademark, your game plan. That's your trademark, and we wanted to have our best trademark game of the year.
Well, they did that. It was a stunning second half from a side whose defensive profile stacks up in every single measurement. I mean, this is a great look. They've had 2 weeks of wet weather footy where they lost games clearly, but this was always very much on the agenda in the early part of the year, where we started to get a bit serious about this Fremantle footy side. And after half-time, all of this came to the fore against the team who have been the benchmark for a long, long time.
Yeah, and helped to their attack. Yeah, so look at that defensive profile, magnificent. That's been really good all year. Last couple of weeks, 33 points and 44 points. What Justin Longmuir said there, deeper entries. So they were winning the clearances, but just get it in deeper so they can sort of build the wall around it. So their game is coming together. They're beating Geelong at Geelong and Melbourne at the MCG, 2 of the hardest trips in football.
And nearly 2 hours of footy, with Geelong down there at Geelong and Melbourne at the MCG. They almost 2 hours of footy, they conceded 1 goal. Yeah. I mean, that's stunning. Is why you sit up and take notice of a Fremantle footy club.
That is. At half-time, they're sitting there on the weekend, though, and so as good as they've been defensively, the previous 2 weeks they'd scored 44 points and 33 points. So there were question marks about their ability to get it done in the other part of the game. And at half-time on the weekend, they're sitting there with 2 goals on the board. What changed? Because we were wondering, gee, are Fremantle, are they capable?
Well, it's a massive tick to the coaching group, because were prepared to make changes, and they changed their centre square setup and they dominated centre square. And Melbourne still got hands first possession. I mean, this is not overly technical. So of the 10, Melbourne had their hands on the ball 5 times and converted to 1 clearance. The rest of them went the way of the Fremantle Dockers.
Was it a change of method, Gaz, or was it a reminder about what he spoke about, Justin Longmuir, in the press conference last week about whole club effort?
Yeah, mindset and attitude, and then positional. So Aish goes to Oliver, but he got, no question, he put it on him. And then you go into the centre bounce and you have a look at it. So I went and had a look at the 5 times Melbourne had first possession, how it unfolded, and the ruckman are your leaders. So you look at Big Sean Darcy here. So there's first hands on it from a Melbourne point of view. Darcy lays the tackle, right? Darcy lays the smother. And so all of a sudden you've got a change of attitude from your ruckman. Ball comes down the other end. They transition, all the midfielders get involved. Lob takes a mark, Lob kicks a goal. So straight away your mind's thinking, right, there's a change here. Then Lob comes in and takes a centre square, right? Again, first possession here to Melbourne, Dunstan on the end of it. It's Lob that lays the tackle. I mean, attitudinal.
So it's attitudinal, because we've been waiting for 15 weeks for someone to deliver us the blueprint on how to beat Melbourne. Is this repeatable in terms of structure and setup, or is this just one of those days where the opposition, particularly after half-time, they rolled up their sleeves, Melbourne were a little bit off, May goes down, and it's just one of those days?
I think there's elements of that as well. But, I mean, there's Darcy again, who lays the tackle, gets the ball turned over, and then asks the question of Luke Jackson, push forward and get the goal. And then, in answer to your question, they will start to go, OK, Oliver and Petrarca all year have been deemed to have been untouchable. You know, you can't stop. Well, you can, because James Aish goes to Clayton Oliver, who was just on a tear. Like, had a first half of footy where you just go, well, what can you do about him? Well, Aish goes and takes responsibility for him at centre bounce. So stands shoulder to shoulder, arm across. Oliver does what he did in the first half, gets hands on it, and Aish is there putting pressure on, right? Ball comes out, Brodie gets a foot, he goes forward. So there you go, all right.
It's not too scientific, is it?
Well, not really. And then Christian Petrarca's off, so Sarong, shoulder to shoulder. Petrarca gets a foot on it, Sarong follows up. Christian Petrarca, you'll see, tries to head goal side out the back. Sarong stays in the contest. Ball goes down the other end. So they're the 5. 5 times Melbourne had first possession. 5 times Fremantle were able to win the footy back and put it deep into attack. And they had territory. They marked everything that came in sight. And it was, I thought it was a superb performance.